Boy, this is great. I'm sitting back like I'm the listener here. It's a great show, Mikey. Seriously, you're taking me down memory lanes. Good stuff.
I'm glad you came along, and don't forget to listen tomorrow because Chet is going to bring some awesome stuff to the table. More history that a lot of people don't know and don't understand, based on writings from the founders, and it's just I'm really enjoying doing this, and then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled Bible studies. I've got some great men of God that Pastor Rios and Pastor Brown in Mississippi have reached out to about coming on the show and giving their testimony of the miracles that Jesus has done. And so you've got that to look forward to later on this week in Americanuck Radio. And praise God, let's jump over to our speech of Ronald Reagan.
If we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before. Freedom and the dignity of the individual have been more available and assured here than in any other place on earth. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. The sloping hills of Arlington National Cemetery, with its row upon row of simple white markers bearing crosses or stars of David, they add up to only a tiny fraction of the price that has been paid for our freedom. Each one of those markers is a monument to the kind of hero I spoke of earlier. Their lives ended in places called Belleau Wood, the Argonne, Omaha Beach, Salerno, and halfway around the world on Guadalcanal, Tarawa, Pork Chop Hill, the Chosin Reservoir, and in 100 rice paddies and jungles of a place called Vietnam. Under one such marker lies a young man, Martin Treptow, who left his job in a small-town barber shop in 1917 to go to France with the famed Rainbow Division. There on the Western Front, he was killed trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
Now, again, you've got to look back. At that time, the Reagan administration and the CIA was funding and arming what we were told was the Mujahideen in Afghanistan fighting the Soviet Union. And the reason that you don't know them as the Mujahideen anymore is because they were rebranded as the Taliban. And so they were here. He actually dedicated the launch of a space shuttle to the Mujahideen in Afghanistan and talked about what brave heroes they were. And, well, after 9/11, a lot of those same people were the enemy. Osama bin Laden was also, it is said that he was a CIA asset, and his family, along with the Carlyle Group, had a lot of business dealings with the Bushes, and blah, blah, blah. Farmer in Michigan says, President Reagan was an excellent speaker and a great president that I think really liked this country. Yeah, I liked Reagan. I did. I liked him when I was a little kid. I thought he was cool.
Mike, Reagan was so flawed. People aren't perfect. He was so flawed. He had flawed family life. He took a lot of heat because he was an actor. He was considered
definitely
not the brightest guy and stuff. But that's not the point of America.
No.
What he did, he was a game changer in what people don't remember. He brought the United States out of the burnout Carter years, the Jimmy Carter years. We were jumping off of ledges during that was gas lines. Remember, Mike?
Yeah.
So he took us out of that, and I sit back to people even now, or historical revisionists, right?
Yeah.
I just say, oh no. He took the country to a new brand of patriotism, rebirth of 1776 values and constitutional values. The American business loved him because he cut taxes, believed in capitalism, but it was more an overall thing. Always be careful micromanaging all of our candidates. No, everyone's flawed, this and that, but he really, really, to me, that's why he came to America, was his example, Mike. These kind of speeches. Everyone needs to hear these speeches. And message to all you older folks like me out there. Teach your kids this stuff. Okay, teach your kids this stuff. Because when they read this stuff and they hear this stuff and they see this stuff, they're changed kids as well. So it's the young people,
Speaking of flawed people that became president, our last clip of the day, this is going to take you back. This was during the